on Metro Television. I am Desmond Okrekodan, so from now to 2 p.m. we're going to be discussing topical issues that will shape the development of our dear nation, Ghana. We're live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana. You can join us live on there. Also on DSTV channel 277. We're live on the Multi-TV Digibox and, of course, on 94.1 FM. Coming up on the show today, we're going to be talking about mathematics. Yes, you heard right. In the recent results released by WAEC, there has been a downward, that's a trajectory on the passes by the candidates. What really is the problem? Well, myself, I'm not really a maths fan, but what can we do to salvage the situation? We'll be speaking to a professor of applied mathematics to share with us his thoughts on this. And we get to talk about the lithium deal. What exactly is wrong with the deal? A lot of conversations around that it's unfair. Ghana is getting the shorter end of that particular deal. What exactly is going on with that? One person we know who's been vocal about this for quite a while is John Pikpi, who will be joining me on the table, so we get to talk about this. And also the medical doctors who have been posted to several centers across the country, some of them are not going to the post. Why is that so? We get to interrogate that on the show today. So it's going to be a packed one. Do well to stay with us and be part of the show. For now, Nana Kwesi Kwetia is standing by to bring us the news updates. Kwesi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Desmond. How are you doing?
Well, I'm okay. I'm just thinking about my maths from senior high school. It wasn't too good.
What did you get?
You want me to say that here?
Yeah, I'm just checking out because, the results were not good at all this year.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to see whether it worked out for some of us when it was our time, which I think it did. But,
it wasn't too good, but at least I was able to use it to move to the next level.
The same for me. All right, so let's quickly look at the headlines making the news this afternoon. Minister for Health Kwabena Amintah Akandoh gives newly posted medical doctors 1 week to respond to their duty stations following an alarming nationwide refusal to take up postings in rural areas. Technical Universities Senior Administrators Association of Ghana, TUSAC, begins nationwide strike, citing government's refusal to pay a one-time research allowance. Also, residents in parts of Accra have been asked to brace themselves for water shortage as the Ghana Water Limited begins a 12-hour shutdown of Weija Water Treatment Plant for emergency repairs. Later on Good Afternoon Ghana, we will be looking at the mass failure of senior high school students in the country, especially in core mathematics, what is accounting for the failure, and many more. Stay tuned with us. Welcome back, and these are the details for the news. The Minister for Health, Kwabena Amintah Akandoh, has expressed confidence that the nurses and doctors will return to work soon, telling the parliamentary press corps that ongoing deliberations tied to the approval of the Ministry of Health's budget will help resolve the impasse following a heated debate in Parliament.
We have nearly 50% of all medical doctors we have in this country in Greater Accra alone. Nearly 50%. It's not scary. So at this point, government has taken a decision that, look, let's post these medical officers to where their services are needed most. I don't need to say much because I know that they will respond to this call. The various facilities, the regional health directors have placed calls. We are going to follow it by electronic messages. And I am confident that they will respond. I have personally engaged stakeholders to make provisions such as accommodation and other things I do not want to put out there for these medical doctors. And my doors are open. If there are any discussions or challenges, I'm willing and ready to meet them to try to resolve. But unfortunately, as we see on our records, there's no way we can change them. Ahafo, we have, posted or allocated 21 medical doctors. As at Friday, 8 people have reported. Ashanti 33, 25 people have reported. Bono 29, 11 people have reported. Bono East 27, 9 people have reported. Central 34, 20 has reported. Eastern 34, 23 has reported. Greater Accra 20, 16 has reported. Northern Region 32, 7 has reported. Northeast 19, 0. OT 21, 1. Savannah 19, 7 has reported. Upper East 35, 0. Upper West 32, 0. Volta Region 37, 15. Western Region 37, 14. Western North 31, 2. So these figures are only for Ghana Health Service.
And looking at the 2026 budget, the minority leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin has slammed the 2026 budget as a lazy copy and paste document, arguing that no proper scrutiny went into its preparations. He said the figures contained in the roads and transportation allocation were dangling and inaccurate, describing the budget as poorly put together during the debate on the floor of Parliament.
During the comments on this budget, the minority raised this serious issue of cut and paste budget. No effort has been made to address this. And day in, day out, our friends get exposed. We keep exposing them. The figures that the respected member for Ofoasia Yerbi just put out, it appears this budget was never scrutinized. And we are being called upon, approve. If you say you've done some payment and the big push, look at when the big push announcement was made, the period, and then you are allocating figures in excess of 7 billion, claiming that you have made some payments. You launch big push, you say you've made payment to contractors under big push in less than a month. Mr. Speaker, this can be nothing less than a very lazily prepared budget. You just putting out the numbers. You don't do any due diligence. You come to this parliament, you didn't scrutinize. You mean you didn't read your own budget? We've told you time without number that your work, your governance, and its success will largely depend on the scrutiny that will come from this side. It's the reason why we always want you to be a bit more tolerant, because your 189 did not even spot this. You didn't spot it. Figures are just being bandied around. There's a time I expect you to rise on a point of order.
Secondly, he criticized the minister for failing to constitute a road fund board while hurriedly pushing amendments through parliament, arguing that the minister seems more interested in rushing approvals than fulfilling his core governance duties.
And these are figures that you cannot run away with. You cannot attempt to do your usual rebuttal point of order, because figures don't lie. Data cannot be turned upside down. It's in your own budget document. And you say we should approve this? Well, we have told you what to do. It is your duty to be gracious enough to do the needful. If you decide that you want the records to remain the way they are, So be it. You carry the consequences yourself. You will be solely responsible for your own inefficiencies. Let the private sector know this. Let the private sector know that this government is putting impediment in their way by refusing to pay them as a result of the road fund board that is not in place. If there is nothing like road fund anymore, that nomenclature that exists for the purpose of disbursing funds to road contractors must be put in place. There must be a board. He came here to amend the law. You were sworn in 7 January 2025. Today, we are in December, 2nd December. You can't constitute a simple board.
Still on the story, the Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwabena Governor Agbosa, has dismissed the minorities' leaders' criticisms, insisting he doesn't know what he's saying. He accused the previous NPP government of engaging in questionable practices that have left the state struggling to pay contractors, arguing that the minority has no moral right to point fingers.
Estimates from the committee, the report from the Committee of Road and Transport on the estimates for the 2026 budget for the ministry. I also want to thank the members of the committee and the entire House for all the support given us in the course of the year. Mr. Speaker, I want to put on record where we started from. At transition, we inherited a project portfolio of 110 billion Ghana cedi. In 2024 alone, 24 billion cedis of projects were awarded, majority of them without any commencement authorization from Ministry of Finance. Talk about recklessness, I wouldn't even have to make any comment about that. We also inherited unpaid bills of over 60 billion Ghana cedis if you compare GOG, Road Fund, and Cocoa Board. In fact, as a result, you know Cocoa Board road project has totally collapsed, and the reforms are being carried out currently as we speak. Mr. Speaker, 90% or more of the contractors on our roads were not on site. They stopped work because they have raised certificates and have not been paid for a long period of time and have actually stopped work. And Mr. Speaker, famous for those projects that contractors have stopped working was Ofanko Road, which had regular demonstrations from members of the public, and rightly so, drawing the attention of the state. Interestingly, the demonstrators were not paid any attention until 2025. But Mr. Speaker, it was very simple. The contractor was owed almost $80 million for works done and unpaid for. Mr. Speaker, President Mahama directed, and that was the first contractor that was paid. Almost 800 million Ghana cedi was paid to that contractor, and that is why that contractor is back to site today. So when the minority leader says that contractors are not being paid, I don't know whether he's talking about this country or he's talking about something else. Because a contractor they could not pay, of which the most important alignment on road traffic in our country, Accra Kumasi, was abandoned and the contractor was not working.
And still on the 2026 budget, the Member of Parliament for Pru East, Emmanuel Kweku Boam, has dismissed the minority's criticism of the 2026 budget, saying their refusal to acknowledge any government initiative stems from the ache of losing elections, and insisting that the branding the budget as copy and paste is baseless, as the NDC government is focused on transforming the country.
Look, there's no way in the chief parlance will say, look, what the kind of interventions we are putting in this 2026 budget, I only pray God gives us life and gives us the capacity, the power to execute it. And once we execute it, we will leave it to the good people of Ghana to judge. They are the best judges. They judge the economy in the 2017 to 2024 and told the MPP that, look, you've made us worse off. So go, let us bring the NDC back. And look, the Ghanaian today is so skeptical to the point that they will not hesitate one bit. They will not miss a line to tell the NDC to sit and bring back the MPP if we are doing worse than what the MPP did. But if we are doing good to their satisfaction, who knows? Maybe MPP will still languish in opposition for the next 30, 40 years. We are not saying it because we are so happy being in power. We are saying it because we know we are resetting the economy. We are doing what is right for the good people of Ghana, and they are the best judge. So whatever Afenyo is saying, the minority leader is saying, let him say it. Look, he has work to do to protect the minority in parliament. And these are some of the utterances that will get him out there for people to think he's working for their party. But look, we should be truthful to ourselves. This country in the past 11 months has been managed than never before. Look at the examination malpractice issue we are talking about. For the past 13 years, this is the worst of it we have experienced. So we are not saying that it is political, but we are also saying that leadership comes to play. When they got the opportunity to have reformed the educational system, bringing infrastructure, doing everything to support the educational system, what did they do? So yes, let us compare what we are doing now to what they have done.
Away from that story, the Minister for Transport, Joseph Bukari Nikwe, says several key factors were left to rot under the previous administration, noting that major loan finance projects in the maritime and railway sectors were abandoned and left to sleep, forcing President Mahamad's government to step in once again to revive and fix them.
To throw some light on the Tema-Mpakadan railway line, as a country and working closely with His Excellency the President, I see his vision as to how he wants to transform all the sectors under the Ministry of Transport. And so if you watch under his tenure, a lot of interventions are made when it comes to transportation. Be it under the aviation sector, you go to our airports today, if you take out what His Excellency John Mahamad's regime did, there's nothing left. If you go to the maritime sector, if you take out what His Excellency President Mahamad did, there will be nothing left. If you go to all other agencies that are authorities and they regulate, if you see the policies we have made, if you take them out, there's nothing left. I remember in 2016, being a member of parliament, His Excellency President Mahama brought a loan facility for the construction of the Tema-Mpakadan railway line. And that loan facility was taken to construct the loan. Sadly enough, that project has been kept for over 8 years, waiting for His Excellency President Mahamad's return to come and fix that rail line to be operational. We all are aware all the efforts that were made at the last minute of the elections to see how they will fix the rail line, and it went into crashing of a vehicle that was stationed on the railway track. I want to state that in November 2016, His Excellency President Mahama brought a loan facility that was approved, and there was a lot of short curtain ceremonies to operationalize Tema-Mpakadan rail line. The sad aspect of it, it was delayed for over 8 years. And the good aspect of it is that His Excellency President Mahama is back and we have operationalized it. And today we are happy to state that it is busy connecting passengers from Tema through to Mpakadan and back to Tema.
And looking at the BEC results, the MP for Dodiodo, Afet Nikote Ashi, has condemned claims that the NDC government is to blame for the performance of BEC candidates. Describing the accusation as pathetic, he argued that the results reflect erstwhile NPP's administration's poor management of the education sector, questioning the moral of the NPP for pointing accusing fingers at the current regime.
Appalled to hear that they are blaming this on us. Just in fact, less than 1 year in office. Did the children not start 3 years ago? Whose reign was that? 2 years ago, who was in power? Were they having textbooks? Was there any syllabus? No, there was absolutely nothing. Even food for them to eat. The children were hungry. And you know how much energy the brain consumes. How much energy of the body the brain consumes. So if they are not nourished, how can they focus? This is what they left for us. We will not complain and leave it. We will make it clear to them that this is their fault. But we'll go ahead and fix their mess. That is the difference between us and them. Meaning we are facing the reality of the failed policy. But thank God for His Excellency John Mahama, who have started good works in that area. I'm so appalled to hear that they are blaming this on us. In fact, less than 1 year in office. Did the children not start 3 years ago? Whose reign was that? 2 years ago, who was in power? Were they having textbooks? Was there any syllabus? No, there was absolutely nothing. Even food for them to eat. The children were hungry. And you know how much energy the brain consumes. How much energy of the body the brain consumes. So if they are not nourished, how can they focus? This is what they left for us. We will not complain and leave it. We will make it clear to them that this is their fault. But we'll go ahead and fix their mess.
Secondly, Afeni Kote, she further affirmed that the NDC government is committed to improving the education system left by the NPP.
NDC is in to create a better platform. NDC is in to improve upon the education that we bequeathed to them. We are going to strengthen teaching and learning because that is the only way. When you equip the teachers, when you give them refresher trainings, when you bring the teachers up to standard of teaching. And these are the things that we believe should be done, that they failed to do. We are going to make sure that we depoliticize education because that is the bedrock of Ghana's future. That is the foundation. So if the minister couldn't do much but failed us, he should shut up if he has no alternative to offer. He shouldn't come and blame His Excellency John Mahama for their failed policies.
That story, environmental advocate and founder of Environmental Remediation Forum Ghana, Philip Akest, has lauded the good people of Jema in the Alwyn municipality for their exceptional fight against illegal mining under the initiative dubbed Jema Anti-Galamsey Advocacy. He says it has become very crucial for many communities to adopt the Jema model in preserving Ghana's forest reserves and water bodies.
First and foremost, I will say kudos to the Chief, Reverend Father Blay, and the whole community. They've done very, very well, and they need to be applauded for that. The long term, I think what they've started, especially with the farm, it's a good idea. They need to expand it. But the youth here need work to do. They can't rely on Okada. That's not life. But there is nothing to do for now. That's why they are doing that. So I think once they've started this farming project, they need all the support they can get from individuals and government to expand it and also to put the youth into agriculture. Because if they are into agriculture and they're making money, nobody will think of going into Galamsey. They need to be vigilant and come together. Once they've all agreed that no Galamsey in Jema, that should be the way forward. No Galamsey, no Galamsey. So far as they don't allow people from outside to infiltrate their ranks and influence them with money, and they are together to fight the Galamsey, I think the other communities cannot do anything. I've been speaking to Father Blay for some time now. This is the first time we've met. But I know he's got passion to make sure this town stays without Galamsey and then get some development project for this.
And that's it for Newsbeat on Good Afternoon Ghana. Dexter takes over from here.
Thank you very much, Nana Kwesi, for bringing us the news update. You're watching Good Afternoon Ghana here on Metro TV. We're taking a break. When we come back, we're getting into our conversations for the afternoon, trying to find out what exactly is causing the persistent poor performance by candidates of the WASC, especially in mathematics. We get to talk to a professor from the University of Cape Coast on this particular matter and also delve into some other issues later on the show. So stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
Oh, Jose, and I media semesio. Cannon pan, Nasana, Michiana, what me. A drain I didn't quano. Kingdom Garlic Bitters. No, more benefit him. Me benefit wine. Also, what told dear? Abrewa, the smama, our brente, Mishuve. One antique crana wabre. No Kingdom Garlic Bitters, and any capsules. Nanya, what ya brebia. Kingdom Garlic Bitters, and the capsules. Assembly, a devil when I'm when I say,
send your name, wife, company one personal. Kingdom Ginseng Power Capsules, and tea. Say, see, I'm password.
Kingdom Ginseng Power Capsules. A many genius from Debefi, Abrebia. Obebia o de poor hauno. A droba kupa we hear tremendous capsules. Tremendous capsules. SS Yuma, we are Bessima. And no, you when you be a ton Rubia. Kingdom Heber, no challenger.
So I'm guessing this isn't your house?
No. Will I move out when everything I need is in this house?
Interesting. Fix your exit, Romeo. You are too sloppy. Daddy's mechanic is coming for the car, unless that's the problem too.
I am tired of having to beg my wife to come back home. I'm tired.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
The second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be later?
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. You go be the luckiest. Copy from Georgia be luckiest. From not the block, she be luckiest. Me and you go be lucky, luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your God up boom. If you're poor, what's that? So would the coming of the Son of Man be.
Hey.
Is that his car?
Ha! Even now, your shadow the way designer.
I use my own mouth to reject him. Oh, this is my mouth. Look at that.
Kwame, my son. Now, tell me the truth. How did this all happen?
Oh, mommy, simple delation. Mr. Good Luck no me way.
Yeah, man. Easy qua. Or dial star 712 hash.
The devil is a liar.
He picked his ticket and entered his lucky 5-digit number.
I'm his baby.
Oh, how romantic.
And he followed the prompt. Yes. And then boom, confirmation test.
One quick, pick 5 numbers for me, okay? I'm feeling like 7.
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the
You see how they love you now?
Yo, do you have family payment seminar? Before December, may release a motivational album. Patapa, my super.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
The biggest cultural explosion of the year is here. The Afro-Brazil Ghana Festival 2025. December 12th and 13th at the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park and Mausoleum. It's coming alive with 2 unforgettable days of culture, food, fashion, and music. Enjoy electrifying performances from Bansi Gadam, Adam, Go Get 'Em Episode, Wiyala, Amanziba, Big Twins African Music, and Dance Ensemble. Simon from Burkina Faso, and representing Brazil, Aline Krum. This historic festival is organized by Big Twins African Music and Dance Ensemble in collaboration with the Embassy of the Federated Republic of Brazil in Accra, supported by Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Ghana Tourism Authority.
Right, so welcome back from the break. This is Good Afternoon Ghana on Metro TV. I am Desmond Okreku Dance. We're until 2 p.m. and we're live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana, DSTV channel 277, also on the multi-TV Digibox. And you can also listen to us live on 94.1 FM. Well, this afternoon, we're looking at the performance of candidates in the WASSCE, especially on the back of the provisional results that was released by WAEC on November 29, which has, caused a lot of conversations about our current education system. Today, I want to focus on maths. Yes, I know it's one of the things that has been a bane. As I mentioned earlier, I am not too good at maths, and I'm sure many people also. But we want to take a look at this as put out by the WAEC on the performance of students. So you're going to see, we're going to go through that in a bit. Right, so on your screen now, you see the breakdown with respect to the students. So performance of candidates in the published results of core subjects, WASSCE 2025. You see English language in the grades A1 to C6, D7, there's E8, and also the F9 mark there. English language 69%, A1 to C6, D7 8.18%, E8 9.23%, and F9 12.86%. Now we'll take a look at maths, which we're talking about this afternoon. For maths A1 to C6, you have 209,068 candidates getting between those grades A1 to C6, and that is 48.73%. D7 52,991, representing 11.62%. E8 52,145, that's 12.15%. And then F9 114,872, representing 26.77%. So core maths is also another one that you see 220,000 students getting A1 to C6, 57.74%, D7 54,580 candidates getting D7. You have E8, you have E9, as you see on the screen. And then the other surprise is with social studies, where 248,538 students got A1 to A6, that is 55.82%. D7, 33,670, representing 7.38%. 40,608, representing 9.12% for E8, and F9, 122,449, representing 27.50. Now, the second slide will show you the 4-year performance statistics in the core subjects for WASSCE from 2022 to 2025. Let's take a look at our focus this afternoon on core maths. So in 2022, from A1 to C6, you have 61.39%. In 2023, 62.23%. In 2024, 66.86%. So there looks to be some addition to the percentages. I mean, going forward, so 61 to 62, and then 2024 gave 66.86%. But then this year, 2025, it has dropped to 48.73%. What really is happening? And that is why we are going to get into this conversation. Let's now speak to Professor Anoche. He's the head of the maths department at the University of Cape Coast, to share with us his thoughts on this particular, story we're seeing with maths in our schools. Prof, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time here on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Hello, Prof.
Hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Yes, great. I can hear you now. So, Prof.
Okay. Thanks for having me.
Great. So, Professor Martin Anoche is the head of departments at the Department of Maths at UCC. Prof, your initial reaction to this when you saw the figures as released by WAEC?
Was a very discouraging story to hear. So anyone who is into mathematics for everything will never be happy. So I didn't like it at all.
Now, let's take it from the teaching aspect before we even get to the students and how they understand all of these things. For many of us, and myself included, we see maths as a difficult subject. As a professor in this field, share with us what the knowledge of maths is. What really is maths, and how can the ordinary student understand what it is?
Yes, I won't blame you much if you have the mindset that mathematics is a difficult subject. I rather blame the teachers because they contribute to this perception. So it's true that some of the teachers are the cause. Because a number of teachers who teach mathematics are themselves not strong in the subject. Maybe you ask why I'm saying this. I've observed that some of the teachers who happen to get scholarship to pursue studies at the university, especially those from the basic school, they come and you see that they lack the solid background in the very course they teach there. They struggle academically, fail repeatedly, and sometimes write several receipts. But after they are through the program, these people normally tend to request for transfer from GES to go and teach at the SS, which rather, unfortunately, worsen the situation that the student is having in mathematics. It rather worsen the challenge. So it is true, some of the teachers have difficulties in teaching and understanding the mathematics, let alone teaching it for the student to understand better.
But is that not where we need to look at seriously as a country, looking at the fact that this is a core subject?
Yes, I have a solution to it. If government would take it, I'm sure it's going to help us a lot.
Right, you can go on and share with us.
Yes. One, I suggest that GS should allow such school teachers who upgrade themselves at the university to ask for transfer to SHS, because they themselves do not have that strong background in mathematics. So they rather should encourage them or motivate them to remain at the basic level where they can have their kids build a strong foundation in mathematics instead of moving away to the SHS. And then two, I'm sure you have been saying it because in our days when we were at the university, those who read mathematics, they will say raw mathematics. And the same applies to those who read physics, chemistry, and biology. And these are the people who possess the content knowledge of the courses. But normally, these people, and you can also see these are somehow the disappointed graduate of some sort, because most of these people are the ones who would have gotten, would have wished to maybe read medicine, engineering, and the rest. So they will possess all this in-depth knowledge, and if government will motivate these people rather to go into teaching, then all that they need is to equip them with the pedagogy to be able to train them at the basic level, so that with these strong people at the basic level, they will be able to give the kids the strong background in mathematics that they need, so that by the time they get to SS, they have all the skills there to help them do the SHS level mathematics.
Very interesting submission as your
yes, I see the second one as the panacea if we're able to do that, because most of these people are very, very good. They have the content, but they intend doing something else and then move away. Some will find themselves doing finance and other things, and you see them excelling because of the background that they have. So that's, I suggest. And 3, I know teachers will not like that, but that one will help a lot. I would suggest that GES make sure that all teachers at all levels be placed on renewable probation. Review it every 5 years based on the evidence of their professional growth and improvements. With that, I'm sure they will always be reading, making sure that they keep their jobs. Then also, the student should be allowed to appraise the teaching and the content, the conduct of their teachers. With this together, I'm sure we'll be able to make this a history. Yes, it shouldn't keep happening like this.
All right, Prof, the fear of the subject by students, basically you're saying that it's the teachers who have made it so.
Yes.
And so,
yes,
as a nation, and looking at development and looking at what math, and that's a question that I'll get to. You are suggesting to the GES to do these things. Someone would ask that math, why should we even have this conversation if what is it going to do to us as a country? Can you educate us on that?
In fact, without mathematics, one cannot read engineering. Anything, even to become a medical doctor, you need mathematics. An economist, you need mathematics. Everyone needs mathematics. And in fact, mathematics is not about adding 1 and 2 as we see. Everything around is mathematics. At the basic SHS level, they teach them something like a line, to find equation of a line. You ask yourself, what is this line for? It is just by drawing a straight line or what? It's a mathematical model. And this one is applied in life. Let's take economics, for instance, demand and supply. Both are all lines. So we have a line for the demand and then line for supply. Now you ask yourself, you want to buy something from someone, you bargain. Then at a point you agree and then you pay, he also gives you what you want. This happens when these two lines, I'm talking of this demand and the supply, are in equilibrium. That means that they intersect. And that is where you giving your money, you get your money and you also give you whatever you have requested for. So It's about application of this thing that we teach them in maths. But unfortunately, those who are even teaching, because they don't have that strong background, they don't even have the know-how to let them know that what we are teaching them are all applicable in life. And if someone is learning and doesn't know what to use it for, that will be a problem. They will not have the interest. Especially when the person knows that you cannot do engineering without it. Then it will be very, very serious, because you can't construct a bridge if you're an engineer without knowing mathematics. You should know where the bridge will even sag. And how do you do that? You need mathematics to model that, then you will know how to prevent this sagging. You just assume you are on a Adomi bridge, driving, and the bridge is sagging. You'll be fighting. So if we have someone who is very good in mathematics to model this, then you simulate all this before it comes into reality. So mathematics is something you can apply in every sphere of life, only that we do not have the right people to teach.
Prof, so now the situation is here. There's a decline this year. We're talking about it. There's a fear of the subject from students, as you say, has been attributed to the teachers not exactly understanding what they're teaching the students. How do we immediately fix that so that next year, in a few months' time, we do not have this situation again?
Well, immediately it will be a very difficult task. However, with some of these teachers can also be given the chance to improve on their knowledge. Then with that, we'll be able to solve it. If it's a immediate solution that you want, this is how we can do it. Maybe about 2-3 months course, then they'll be able to handle it.
In a conversation with John Cappy, who is the head of PR4 WAEC, he mentioned to me that one of the things that was explained to him from the chief examiners was that the student did not understand. So it's a case of application of the knowledge. So what is there, they weren't able to do that. Some also, he says, struggled with, if let's say it's 300,000 and it's put in figures, 300,000, they are unable to put it in words, or if it's in words, they are unable to put it in figures. These are basic stuff, I should say. Why should we be having issues with this at the senior high school level?
You need, mathematics is analytical science. So as you go through it, it builds the way you think. So once they do not have it, it will be very difficult for them to think and relate things mathematically. Because if you can solve any problem, you should be able to have that mathematical mindset, how variables can be put together or relate to solve problems. But here is the case, they cannot think right and put these words into mathematical model and solve. So the problem is from down there, things were not done right. So the person who doesn't understand anything at the SS cannot do anything magic there. It will take some time. So we should build it from down there for them to be analytical, then they will be able to do that. Because you need to be someone who thinks. Yeah.
So that's you mean from the basic level, so primary to junior high school, and then there should be a new level all the time of the understanding, so that by the time they get to senior high school, they have grasped it to a certain point.
Yes, exactly. That was even the reason I was proposing that those who have the content mathematics, these are the people who would have wished to maybe do medicine and other things and they couldn't get. When they get it, instead of moving to specialize in other areas, we should rather encourage these people to rather go to the basic, the crèche, the primary JHS to teach, because they will be able to relate real life situation, model them into mathematics for the student to know how to think and relate certain things to form mathematical model and solve.
Prof, there is another case of, so when you get out, you have a lot of schools in our communities, and you have these private schools, and you see today they bring a teacher that is a maths teacher. You wouldn't exactly know maybe because they've gone to the university or to senior high school that they understand 1 + 1 is 2, they get to be employed as maths teachers in these schools. How do we rectify, how do we solve that? Because I believe that's one of the major factors.
Yes, all these people should be trained. The world should be trained. And that was even the reason I was saying, when they have the opportunity to come and study at the university, they should not be allowed to move to SS, because that is the knowledge they need to build the foundation that the kids need before they get to SS. So most of them, though they are teaching, maybe because there's no job anywhere, so they will pretend to teach and behave to be mathematicians. But in real life, sense, they are not. So it's a big problem. Yeah, it's a big problem. Some of them might have even failed mathematics and yet teaching mathematics, because these private schools, most of them, they don't have the money to pay those who qualify. So if you can teach, that's okay for them.
Prof, thank you very much for your time here on Good Afternoon Ghana. We really appreciate your time speaking to us. So I hear from Professor Martin Anoche, who's head of the Department of Maths at the University of Cape Coast, sharing with us his thoughts on this year's decline, 48% as it is for students who were able to pass from, that is A1 to C6, for that is D7, E8, F9. It's just overwhelming that we keep on having this situation year after year. So let us know what you think, as you can share with us on our social media handles at Metro TV Ghana, on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, on all the platforms. Of course, on TikTok, you can do that also. But still on the conversation around the WASSCE, the Pro East Member of Parliament has been speaking on the results. Let's take a listen to him.
That to have done by now is to have set up a commission of inquiry into the numerous examination interventions put in place by the previous government. They bought past questions for students in the name of helping them revise. And look at the whooping sums of money we lost. Yet, the people at the end of the day were given, they were pushed. If you're an invigilator and you don't allow them to do it, we have teachers who came to us and told us they've opted not to be invigilators anymore, because it is like the whole system is against any invigilator who doesn't want to support cheating or examination malpractices. What kind of country are we running? As young as our kids, our daughters, our sons, we instill in them corruption by telling them that you can pay your way through examination to whatever level. Today we have like the medical school in UDS, KNUST, Legon, not accepting students from specific schools. Have you asked yourself why? Because those students come and they are not able to defend their grades. Is it not a shame to us as a country that you get somebody 8 A's or straight A's and the person is unable to defend neither of them? Have you seen why the influx of a whole lot of students are going in for the security recruitment? Have you found out? Because they don't want to further their education. I have typical scenarios in my constituency. I've set up a scholarship scheme to support students, brilliant but needy students. You go and get this brilliant student and they tell you they don't want to further education. Why? In their closet, they tell you that they can't defend what they have. This is the canker we are talking about. And yet somebody wants to tell us that we should politicize this whole thing.
Right, so they had the Member of Parliament for, that is Pro East, speaking to my colleague there about the WASSCE results, and definitely it's one that we are going to be keeping tabs on, as the council, that is WAEC, says that they would be engaging a number of the stakeholders to make sure we find a way around this, whether it's going to be the syllables or what exactly it will be. We'll keep tabs on that and bring you that here on the show. We're live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana. You can definitely join in and share with us your thoughts on this, especially on Matt. Very, very important one. You heard from Professor Martin Anochi, who spoke to us there about what exactly needs to be done to avert the situation. Now, moving away from that, and then we're getting to a very important conversation that over the past few weeks, we've had a lot of the debate on that particular topic in Parliament. The minority has been speaking, the majority has been speaking. Remember, that is Collins Dauda. He has addressed the presser in Parliament. Our colleague, that is Dominic Ansapra, brought us that particular one on this lithium deal, and Ghana is on the short end of that particular deal, and it's a worry. And one person who's been outspoken about this particular deal has joined us on the table. But let me just give you a brief on what this deal is. Now, the Australian company, that is Atlantic Lithium, through a subsidiary in Ghana, that is Barari DV Ghana Limited, won the rights to develop the first large-scale lithium mine in Ghana, and that is at Ewoya, that is in the central region. Now, the initial deal was signed in 2023, and under it, the government of Ghana, through the Minerals Income Investment Fund, was to get some stake in there, boosting state participation. And the issue now is how much Ghana is getting from this particular deal. John Bigby has joined me on the table, so we get to talk about this. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Very glad to be here.
Yes, good to see you and on this campaign that you have been on for a while.
That's right.
Yeah, how long now? I think I saw a couple of your conversations about a year ago, 2 years ago.
That's right. It has been an issue that has been of great concern to a number of us, particularly as we discovered more and more about how natural resource ownership has been organized in this nation for particularly the last 32, 33 years, which is the period of the 1992 Constitution. So we've been very concerned about how the structures have been organized there.
Right. And as you go about, as you try to make sure that we do the right thing as a country,
Yes.
get a higher stake in there, what has been some of the things that you have seen? As you're saying, you have engaged a number of people. You've been on this campaign. What have you seen from this deal?
Well, the first thing that we found is just total ignorance about the area.
Okay.
Very, very few people are aware of what is happening in the natural resource space. And when they hear the shocking statistics that we show, they just cannot cope with it. They say, what is this happening? Why is this going on? Who is doing this to us? So a lot of ignorance, totally unaware, but also then a real sense of, no, this must change. That's the sort of thing we are getting.
Right. So we know of the resources in the country. Many can mention the gold,
oil, diamond,
yes,
bauxite, manganese. Those are
all the ones you've mentioned are
Yes.
well known. But lithium,
that's right,
is quite new to us, right?
That's right. Lithium, well, new on the scene because technologically the demand for lithium has become important because of the building of batteries that power electric vehicles, which are becoming much more important in our world right now. And so lithium is mined and the ore is processed into lithium hydroxide or lithium carbonate. This is used to produce the batteries that, increasingly allow you to travel many, many miles, increasing range. So it's becoming important for that.
Very, very, very important. Well, we've seen other countries who have this particular resource, and It's something that, can definitely help the country and add up to all the other resources that we have. What is the problem with this particular deal? As I've read out, we in 2023, that's when the conversations began with the deal getting signed and all of that. Why is there a problem with this deal?
Well, the main problem is that when the deal is being put together, the investor actually becomes effectively the owner of all our lithium resources, because he gets up to close to 87% of the business. And Ghana, a sovereign Ghana, gets only 13%. 1-3.
On whose land the lithium has been found?
Exactly. In fact, yes, exactly. We, the owners. So I'm raising questions. Who really is the owner of this resource? Fundamental question. And it goes back to our constitution declares that it actually owned by all the 35 million people, citizens of Ghana, and is being vested in the president of Ghana and his cabinet to manage on our behalf, and to bring us the gains and returns from it. So that is the law concerning these resources. But when leaders go to negotiate, the sovereign country goes to negotiate with one or two people from outside, they end up giving to them not only the majority share, but the lion's share, over 87% is given to them. What this means is that if the lithium is mined and they make $100 out of it on Monday morning, well, 87 of that, those dollars will be given to the company, can take it away freely, and then Ghana will have only $13 out of these 100 cedis income. Now, but it's worse because we're talking about millions and billions of US dollars.
Of money, yeah.
So it's hard to imagine how we arrive at this. But the sad situation is that it's just following in line with all that has been done with our precious natural resources, whether it is gold, diamond, oil. In all these things, we have, as a nation, for some reason, which is still hard to explain, we've given away in excess of 80% to foreign companies. And they just come and do it and go away. You know, the gold. So I did a study, which was very, very troubling, because we found that I took a stretch of time between 2014 and 2024, a 10-year period, and I looked at the total earnings that we have had from our main natural resources. First of all, how much of that was produced and how much money came through that into the country, and how much actually came to government of Ghana. And it is very shocking. So for that period, for example, gold that was sold within this 10-year period in this country came to $70 billion US. Now that is approaching the GDP of Ghana. $70 billion sold within this 10-year period. But you know how much Ghana got out of this? Only $8 billion. And the foreign companies took away $62 billion from this. Basically, government got only 12%.
It's a paltry percentage from it.
Yeah, it's like groundnut money, the sort of thing they give you, small boy, go and use to buy groundnuts. They still consider themselves the big boys. They take it all and say, you are children, take this and go and eat. I don't think it undermines our sovereignty. I'll give you the figures for oil. During the same period, we raised up, and probably so, I'll explain that in a minute, up to $21 billion US worth of oil. However, only 3.2 billion of that money came to Ghana. Now, when I heard it, I thought, no, this is unacceptable. However, this is what has happened already. And 17.8 billion goes away to foreign countries. But the oil one is more serious because I found out when I pushed the button that Ghana doesn't participate in the lifting of the oil, in the transport of the oil, in the sale of the oil. We have no hand in it. So it's done entirely in our blind side. And then at some point it's, oh, this is all we sold.
This is what we've got.
And so this is all we can give to you. Ghana has no way of finding out whether these people, and we have not even tried to find out whether they're telling us the truth or not. So it's horrific what is going on in the natural resource area. Diamond, similar thing, bauxite, similar things. In total, over the 10-year period, Ghana, and this amount of money was made from minerals, $92 billion in total, but government earnings were only a total of 11.3.
11.3 out of the 92.
Yes, and the foreign companies happily went away with 80.84 billion. So my contention is that this has been going on for too long, and it must stop. And so with the lithium coming online, it's an opportunity to do a new thing and change it around.
And change it.
But everybody just lined up to do the lithium thing exactly the same way, offering 87 to this company, and the whole nation is getting 13%. It's totally unacceptable.
Some would argue that you just have the resources, you do not have the equipment, you don't have
to mine it.
Yes, to do all of that.
It's unfortunately inaccurate.
Okay.
This is some of the wrong thinking that has been fed to us.
Do we?
Are
we able to?
I mean, mining, what do you need to mine? As you can see, Galamsey is going on. We'll go to that another time. But as you can see, Ghanaians are well and able to dig the ground and get the minerals out. Now, lithium, people can, there's no, mining is not rocket science. It's basic work. And we, even if we don't have the expertise right now, we need to understand that you can go online now and you can acquire that expertise in 5 minutes. And I have acquired that already. So I know how it can be done.
Is that enough for us to be able to?
Oh yeah, I was chasing up information. I've got it down now. We can do it ourselves without this foreigner coming in. He should go back to Australia and mine the lithium in Australia. We should also be in Ghana and mine our lithium in Ghana. Let's send him home. Because what is the big deal? So let me tell you, the other thing about it is this. They said the foreign investors are bringing income in. So how much are they investing before we give them so much? But we've not been thinking properly about our resources. Let me just share something with you.
Right.
If we have $100 billion resource, assuming the lithium is about 5.8, but let's say we have $100 billion resource to mine, natural resource to mine. What we should do is to compute the value of that as our equity that we bring to the table. So at the moment, Ghana arrives at the table with, they tell us we have empty hands. Investor has brought 5 million, so he should take so much. But we should change that thinking. Ghana says we arrive at the table of the negotiation, if you are going to negotiate at all, we value the resource because it is ours, then we bring that to the table. This is our contribution at the table, $100 billion worth of resource. And often the investor will be coming with 10 billion, let's say. That puts him at a serious disadvantage because we've got, then we should have 90 billion, which means you should have 90% shares, and his 10 billion becomes 10% shares. That would be a reasonable engagement.
Are we lacking in terms of negotiations as a country for some of these deals?
Okay, we've not been thinking, I'm sorry to say. We've not been doing the hard work of thinking about helping our country.
Okay.
And so they come in and say, you don't have anything, I bring this. No, go to the place, look at the resource, think about what I'm telling you now. requires somebody sitting down to think, what have we got to bring to the table? They are bringing 10 billion. No, everything, all the resources are out. So that becomes our equity contributions. We've not been thinking. Secondly, we've not been working hard. We've all sort of been educated to run away from the villages and the land and come and be in Accra chasing around money in the nice buildings, nice houses. We leave all the world behind. And then our government officials who have to negotiate on our behalf have not been fair. I don't know why they would do this kind of negotiations on our behalf. It's not been right. But it has been perpetuated again and again. Any investor they meet, they quickly throw away all our resources so easily. Because, I don't know, they have a lot to answer for. And it's not only negligence. I would say that over this 10-year period, the resources I'm showing, we would say that they are guilty of causing this country serious financial loss. And we have to talk about that. How did you negotiate the oil? How do you throw it away like that? We want to know.
How did you just give everything away with the country and receiving just little of that?
A 10-year slot I've opened up. All the years before then, even now, this is going on. So I feel that we've not been thinking, or we've not taken our role as stewards of the resources of this nation seriously enough. In fact, a steward is somebody who is meant, hey, go and do this work and come and account to us, the people of Ghana. But I think it's more of people who have taken it as their thing. They go and maybe something changes hands, I don't know, and something little changes hands, and they are satisfied, few people are satisfied, so they give it away. And therefore, basically disenfranchising 35 million Ghanaians completely of their natural resources. And I've pointed out that this money, which I've quoted here, is serious money. It is like 100,000 kilometers worth of roads could have been built very easily in 10 years. It's like hundreds of hospitals could have been built. It's like hundreds of schools should have been built. It's like our housing deficit could have been cancelled completely if we took just part of this money to start building houses.
To be able to do all of that.
So what we are talking about here, there's been a systematic impoverishment of this country because of these policies which basically don't make sense to me. So, and I'm saying that come lithium, it must not happen again.
It must not happen again.
No.
So this particular deal with Barari DV Ghana Limited is a 15-year mining lease.
Yes.
And per the terms that was agreed in 2023, the royalty percentage is 10% to Ghana. And in recent times with the new government, the minority has been fighting the government for reducing it to 5%. And again, looking at the terms here, as you mentioned, a 13% interest for government, just for Ghana.
Yeah. The whole nation,
the whole
real
country,
owners, the sovereign
13%.
state. And a man we don't know from Adam walks into our country and he takes away 87%. What right has he got here? Why do we love him so much and hate our people so much? Why? And so you are raising this point.
Yes.
Even these royalties, I think it's just a red herring. That's like this is peripheral to the discussion right now, I will say. They're just using that to throw dust in our eyes. 5%, 10% is still completely unacceptable.
That's still very
Let's
low.
go to the meat of the contract. The meat of the contract is Ghana must have 87%, and then Barari should have 13% if you're really serious about continuing. Or give them 10%, we get 90%. That's the only thing I'll find acceptable. And we should be able to stand up as equals and speak as equals to these people because we are equals. And the thing is ours.
Do you think that you've been left alone to fight this battle?
No, when I search the literature, I do find a lot of people have written things over the years. They just got tired. People have written many things against it. I read it. They got tired. And in fact, even last year, the Institute of Economic Affairs organized a seminar again on this very lithium deal when Akufo-Addo was in power, and said, "Look, please don't do this." Obviously, so I was there. the Economic Affairs has got data that it shouldn't be like this, but they just ignore them. There are many people, there are many voices, except that, in fact, even the press, at some point, when you raise this, they will not publicize it.
Are you not happy? I mean, to an extent, that it is being talked about in Parliament, where the minority are stand on this, you know, on the majority to revise the terms of this particular deal. And of course, the Lands Minister, Emmanuel Amakofibo, has also mentioned that they're not going to rush the work.
Yep.
Collins Dauda, who is on the committee in Parliament, has also mentioned that they are not rushing.
Yep.
They're going to take their time. Is this some good step that we're seeing?
It's to be welcome. It seems to be a door is being opened for conversation and hopefully transparency in these matters. But I think that when I listen to the conversations in Parliament, it's like they're talking about the fringes.
Not talking about the actual issue. That's what you think.
It's like so it's good they're opening up, but they just what they are talking about is the fringes of the whole thing. It's almost as if what they have put, the main part is settled. So I'm saying no. What you are talking about, you should not even be talking about that. Ghana should not be getting royalties. It's ours. You pay royalty to somebody who is, you know, like, you shouldn't be getting royalties. We should be getting the substance of the deal, you see? And so we want all this. We want the whole thing. And we can do even much better if we ask this Australian to go back home. If he hasn't got money to go home, we can pay for him to go back home. We can do the whole thing ourselves. We can do the whole thing because all you need to do is to acquire the mining equipment. And there are companies that are willing to do higher purchase of the whole mining equipment. Get a team together, acquire the equipment, and then you set it, and then we have 100% of the whole thing. So that takes us into the field. We go to the ground with some hard work and hard thinking. It can all be managed. It can all be managed.
There are a lot of things also that comes to play in terms of the agreement and how the lithium itself is mined. So in terms of the value addition, in terms of the mining model reforms, and in terms of the control of the value chain, from what point to what point to what point, all of those things matter.
It's great you've raised that.
Right.
Because that is another thing that's awful about this Barauri agreement. They were simply going to get it all out and then ship it abroad. They were not going to process it. They were not going to add any value. They were going to even process, clean it up in America. So I said no to that. In fact, no to that. Because when you start processing the ore, apparently it's been shown that you can change the value you can raise the value 4 times. So if it is $1,000 per unit, when you process it to be what we call battery-ready condition of the lithium, it becomes 4,000 per the same unit. That is, the change is huge. And in the process as well, we will be employing Ghanaians. There will be technology transfer. In addition to that, there are other chemicals that are found in the process. There is ceramics, there are other things that are found that you begin to process, which you now begin to gain from, which adds so much, so that before you know, you got a whole technology system in this place. And then we go on to make the batteries ourselves. Why not? We can make the batteries ourselves, and then we will not even sell it. Then we make the EV vehicles ourselves. And before you know it, Ghana becomes a hub of the emerging EV industry in this country. And the door is all open. The lithium is here. However, this guy, according to this agreement, he will just get the ore, like we do with all our things, and take it away. With our gold, no refinery.
Sorry, just as we do with our cocoa, we just get it there unprocessed, and then, some people somewhere would do the other things, and then we go back to go and buy from them.
Exactly. So it's unacceptable, really, that we have this contract, because For example, what we would have been getting from our gold if we had a right contract in place, we would never need to go and borrow any money from IMF ever again. We wouldn't need to. In fact, if we change the arrangements now, within 5 years, Ghana will be lending money to other nations. We will, because the resources are so much. 92 billion will be ours in 10 years. In fact, it will be even more than that. So I'm saying the bad, I call it bad stewardship of our natural resources. The bad stewardship, where we give it to people like this, bad stewardship must stop now and now. It must not continue another minute. We should go and revise all the agreements with all the companies that are mining in this country. We have a proverb in one of my languages. It says, every day for the thief man, one day for the owner. I don't know what you've heard that before.
Yes.
The thief men have been having a field day for all this while, for 20, 30, 40, 60 years. In fact, even with gold, it started in 1895. So you're talking about, it's all been for the thief man, thief man, thief man. You know what I mean by that? But now, the owner is saying, the owner is roaring. I am roaring. I'm the owner. Ghana is the owner. I'm saying this must stop. And Ghana must become the owner of these resources. And so the end of the thief man is over, is here. And all that they have been doing all these years is over now. Let's start a new thing.
We see what's been happening to the towns that help us with, gold, where gold can be found. People talk about Obuasi and even the development around the area and all of these things. And so for a year, it's also been the news. You've seen the traditional authorities in the area. Also, do they understand these things? Do they know what the deal is about? Do they know what they are benefiting or getting from all of these?
I mentioned before about the ignorance of the whole thing. And also about and it's to do with, we need a whole, I don't think they understand the issues well. Because basically the government presented it to them with what I would describe as the old paradigm. Oh, we're getting 13%, you also get 1%, and this and that and this and that. I'm calling for a paradigm shift completely, where we go back and say, look, it's not you, aware people, the thing is yours. You can have it on our behalf, at least. You own it as part of the whole Ghanaian people. And then the way we change that is say, look, let's try and get it out of the ground. We've even got a way of doing it. We engage the people. It can be done.
Okay. Well, if you're just tuning to the show, we're speaking to Apostle Dr. John Kpikpi, the leader for the Progressive Alliance of Ghana. They have been embarking on a campaign to revise the terms of this lithium deal between Ghana and Barari DV. As I mentioned, Parliament has been engaging, in debates on this particular topic. But you have called on Parliament to reject this particular revised lithium deal.
Yes.
It shows how far you are going to make sure that this deal does not go through.
That's right. We thankfully, when they opened the door for people to contribute to the debate, we prepared a paper and submitted, basically saying that this is not fit for purpose. Certainly, 2025 Ghana, we can't continue to go like this. It's been going on for too long. So we want them to throw the agreement off the table completely.
Right.
Let us come down to the basics. Now that suddenly we realize, oh, it's ours. I would say up to now, we didn't know that the minerals were ours. That's how we've been behaving as if it's not ours. It's for the foreigner. Now it's ours. I'm pushing that very hard. And because of that, I would like us to start again. Somebody say, oh, we want the money from the, no. That lithium has been in the ground for, I don't know, many centuries. It's not like bananas that is going to rot in the ground. Give another 10 years to work us around it, get our act together, and start mining it in a way that gives Ghana 100% ownership. Wow. We shouldn't be rushing this at all.
We shouldn't be rushing this at all. No. We'll keep tabs on that definitely and follow up on what the lands minister will be doing about this particular deal, and
right.
I'm sure that by now many Ghanaians will come to know what this deal is about.
Yeah.
And I mean, as you say, it is on our land,
Yes.
and at least what would be a favorable negotiation deal for you?
Minimum share for Ghana should be 90%.
90%.
90%.
So 90-10, that's it for you.
That would be close to what I would find acceptable, because of the reality that all the resources we convert that into equity. And that means that the whole thing, that's it, 90-10. But I'll push further for where Ghanaians rise up, our scientists, our engineers, our entrepreneurs, administrators, get together in a team and say we're going to get this out ourselves. And it's a mental thing where people think that as soon as they hear of minerals, foreign investor.
Yeah.
Foreign investor. But it should not be, we don't need any foreign investors to get our minerals out of the ground. So that's what I'll be pushing for.
Okay.
That's what I'll be pushing for. And I always tell a little story to really put the issue in context. My story is this. A wealthy man called Chief Anaga had 12 children, and when he passed away, he left his estate, which was worth 12 million Ghana cedis to them to share. So they were all excited, not excited he had passed away, but excited about the property. They wanted to sell it and share it equally among them, according to the will. But they were finding difficulties to sell it. So they asked their third born, Mensa, to go and, who is a marketing person, go and sell it. He went away and came back in 6 months and said to them, I've managed to sell it, but the estate agent who helped me in the sale demanded 87% commission.
Right.
And so, brothers and sisters, I've got 13% of the sale for us all to share. Now, if you were one of those brothers, what would be your response to Mensa, who's just told you this?
That's one that we will think about.
Yes.
It's one we're thinking about and making sure
Yes.
that we do not do ourselves a disservice.
So exactly what we are doing. Our government officials are the Mensas that we are sending to go and sell these things on our behalf. And they come back and tell us that all that they have left in the bag is 13%.
Doc, we've seen this campaign. We'll definitely be following. But let's talk about Galamsey real quick before we wrap it up.
Yeah.
You happy with what's happening with Galamsey, how we're fighting it?
Not really. I think that, first of all, what I would say is Galamsey it's got a bad name now, but in the beginning, it was not a bad thing. It is artisanal mining, people trying to get some gold from the ground. Ghanaians. What I would say is that the problems that have developed around Galamsey, we have to trace them to this problem we are discussing, which is the disenfranchisement of all Ghanaians from the minerals. So people grow up in Obuasi, they see these companies make all the gold money and take all the money out. They don't get anything. Now, again and again and again, year after year, if we had organized the mines properly in the beginning,
right,
so that the wealth from the mines is benefiting Ghanaians, not only in the immediate, starting with the immediate environment and then into other places, I would feel that the root of Galamsey would have been severed, would have been cut off.
Yeah.
Because there's no need to go when you are actually, it's all being done properly, you are now actually mining it, and we've done it being mined responsibly. So we must not ignore the fact that the bad stewardship of our resources is what opened the door for what we are seeing in Galamsey.
So, so essentially, you're saying that people see that we have gold, which is very resourceful in our area, but we are not seeing much of it in our lives.
We're not eating anything from it. And so they also go wild. Of course, they should try. In fact, it is for them to begin with. But they've been, through some means, they've been completely cut off from the wealth What I'm advocating for is to restore the wealth to all Ghanaians so that they will be very happy making the money out of it, and Galamsey will become a thing of the past. You see, but there is a distorted ownership structure in place which has forced our people to go and do anything they want. And so we have this problem on our hands. So we must dig deeper.
Looking at that and looking at just opposing that with what the government has done with Gold Board and the amount of money that Gold Board is raking, taking the bull by its horn and doing it by themselves as Ghana, and the amount of money that is coming in, you say it's good?
I think it was an excellent move.
Okay.
In fact, that is what has helped us to change our relationship, Ghana cedi to the US dollar. It's a very important move, but it just shows you, and that is only a small part of the gold resource, which has been taken over, as you said, bull by the horn, producing so much impact instantly. Imagine what it would be like if all the 100% of it is taken charge of. What can we not do with this? So I think what has happened with the Gold Board is a loud sign for everyone that we should repeat it across the gold space. We should repeat it in the oil space. We should repeat it in all the other diamond and other mining sectors. And we shall find that we'll be laughing. Ghana will be laughing to the bank all the time.
And that will help with our development as a nation, right? We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll let Doc touch on the WASSCE results as someone who is a man of God and someone who's been educated. I'm sure he's got quite a number of
as well.
Yes, a school owner as well. Yeah. He's got so much to talk about that. So we're taking a break. This is Good Afternoon Ghana. We're speaking to Dr. John Okpikpi of Progressive Alliance of Ghana on other topics, including the lithium deal with Barari DV. We've touched on Galamsey, Gold Board. When we come back, we talk about the WASSCE results. Stay with us.
Branch manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Trotro from Kaswa, dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late, of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. Coffee be the luckiest. Coffee from Georgia be luckiest. From not the block, she be luckiest. Yeah, you coffee be lucky, luckiest. No matter why you're lucky. Everybody go be that luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your God apple boom. If you put it toy, so would the coming of the son of man be. Is that his car?
Ha! Even now, your shadow the way designer.
I use my own mouth to reject him. Oh, this is my mouth. Look at that.
Kwame, my son. Now, tell me the truth. How did this all happen?
Oh, Mommy, Simple direction. Mr. Goodluck no check me way.
Yeah, man. Easy car. Or dial star 712 hash.
The devil is a liar.
He picked his ticket and entered his lucky 5-digit number.
I'm his baby.
Oh, how romantic!
And he followed the prompt. Yes. And then boom, confirmation test.
One quick, pick 5 numbers for me, okay? I'm feeling like 7.
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the
You see how they love you now?
Yo, do you have family permission? Before December, may release a motivational album. Patapa, my super.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Kachemi, I didn't know when you just assassin.
Pepe say if one the home fasonia empra enfia.
Ah, na you want him. And he didn't me enfia.
Asemi to me a man in your best way. Who bet to me a cool. Mr. Daddy.
This Christmas, Cartus Agri Limited is bringing you freshness, flavor, and festive joy straight to your home and office. Right here in Accra, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takrady. Cartus Agri, your #1 poultry plug. Fresh birds, sweet eggs, delivered with love. Get ready for our juicy Midofopa package. You get 1 broiler, 1 layer, 2 crates of eggs, plus our special chicken spices. All for only 450 Ghana cedis. Midofopa, sweet value for you. Or go big with our Coco Bolobo package. That is 2 broilers, 2 layers, 2 crates of eggs, and chicken spices. Just for 800 Ghana cedis. A Coco Bolobo. More chicken, more joy. And for families and corporate bodies ready to feast, try our Odon Soda package. 3 broilers, 3 layers, 3 crates of eggs, plus spices for only 1,200 Ghana cedis. Order now, enjoy more. And the best part is, corporate orders come with free delivery. Terms and conditions apply. Call us now. 0558 376127 or 0241 674268 or 020-331-5557. This Christmas, choose Cartus Agri Limited. Cartus Agri Limited. Freshness you can trust.
Welcome back. This is Good Afternoon, Ghana. Many thanks for staying with us. We're going to wrap up with Dr. John Kpikpi on the conversation surrounding the WASSCE and the poor results. Doc, real quick on that, how do we move on from here?
I wonder whether these results we're seeing now are actually the real results that we should have been receiving all these years, but they have been masked by serious exam malpractices, which is entrenched and practiced across this country. In most schools, parents happily pay money and schools receive money from parents to buy invigilators. There's so much malpractice. In fact, it's become the norm.
Yeah.
But all those things have masked what the poor performance has been over these years. It looks like this year, WAEC found a way to dig in and say, look, we're going to tackle
all of these things.
And the result is, of course, what is coming out without the mask on it. And we are all crying about it. But I think that this is more likely what it is or what it has been over the years. That's what I was saying.
Right. Doc, thank you very much for your time this afternoon on the show. We appreciate your time. Definitely we'll continue with the conversation in some time. Right. Yes, thank you very much for your presence. Dr. John, or Apostle Dr. John Kpikpi is the leader for the Progressive Alliance of Ghana, joining us for the conversation on the lithium deal, which he's been campaigning against. Right. We get on to our final conversation for the afternoon before we wrap it up, and it's with the situation where medical officers who have been posted across several centers in the country. There's been data from the Ghana Health Service showing the number of people posted to these centers or to these regions, and how many of them do actually report to the centers in the regions. Now, there's the data that we're going to show you on the screen in a bit, and then we'll also speak to Richard Salome. He's joined us. He's with the Ghana Medical Association, who's going to be speaking to us this afternoon. So let's get right into it. Mr. Salome, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for having us.
Right. This has been a yearly thing, happens every year.
Well, good afternoon once again to your listeners.
Right.
Indeed, the issues about postings and then acceptance to posting of health workers has been with us for decades. And unfortunately, this year is not different. However, we appreciate government's direction to want to post a lot more medical officers to the deprived areas. And we as an association stand ready to work with the minister and government for that matter to ensure this happens. However, there are multiple issues on the ground which make these things happen.
Right.
For example, we talk about, it's not that they have refused posting. I just want that clarified.
So it's not that they're refusing to go.
With that. Yes, we must clarify that. These are doctors who have been agitating to be posted for quite a long time now. Some have stayed at home for over 1 year. Some have been at home for 1.5 years. And we were advocating, if you follow the news, for them to be posted for so long. Some of these people, they have to survive and feed. And so they've had to work. Some are nurses who have gone to medical school, physician assistants who have gone to medical school, have families, and they have to feed their families whilst they wait to be posted for government to employ them. And some have had to work, some have gone back to school and all that. So having posted them within the past 2 weeks or so, even though the recruitment process began some months back, they will require some time to cool off and then quickly report to where they are going. So yes, we know that it's an ongoing story. And so that data you are talking about was last week, Friday, barely 10 days or so after they were posted. And then we are in touch with many of our colleagues and also the Director Human Resource at Ghana Health Service and also with our colleagues at CHAG, where we know that many more colleagues are beginning to report to their places. It is also important to note that the recruitment practices within the agencies of the Ministry of Health also are not the same. For example, CHAG, which is Christian Health Association of Ghana, will post officers directly to facilities. And so, for example, if I knew I am being posted to Bato, I will pack my bag and baggage, probably even with my family, and report to Bato with my things. However, with Ghana Health Service, the regions are supposed to recruit these officers, not recruit per se, sorry. They are posted or allocated to regions who when they report to the regions. And so they don't know the specific facility they will go in the region. For example, if it's Upper East, they will now report, have engagements with their regional directors. And that is why we note that some of the regions are now contacting these medical officers. Some of the regions are now engaging them to tell them what they have on the ground, for example, and assurances they have given them so that these officers will quickly go. Right. And we are aware that, for example, if somebody is posted to Boku, if it was you posted to Boku, we know of the security situation there. You would want to know what the assurances you have for your safety before you proceed and go there. And some places also don't have their polyclinics. They don't have theaters where people can work. And so some doctors have concerns about their skill sets wasting away because of certain amenities that are not there.
But Richard,
we also know
if you cite
yes.
Boko, that's just one of many examples you could give. I mean, of one of the areas across the country. But there are places. Let me show you Greater Accra. Greater Accra, for instance, where we say we are the capital, Accra. Allocation 20. Number of reported 16. Yet to report 4. What is happening in Greater Accra that 4 people are yet to report? Now,
so my brother, Greater Accra is not Accra. That is the mistake you are making.
Yes, I definitely understand
Greater
that. But
Accra is
it's bigger.
So
but I'm saying that
if you had listened to me to finish the reasons, and then we all discuss how to solve the matter.
I was
citing instances where there is insecurity. That's one instance.
Right.
There are instances where there are inadequate facilities. I cited where some people call, and there are no theaters to work with. And so in some instances, they are worried about how they'll be able, for example, if you saw a patient who had PPH and is bleeding post-pregnancy, you need to take the person to theater. You are essentially caught pants down because there's no theater. And some doctors worry about such situations, or equipment. Then there are issues where people are also calling facilities where there's no ready accommodation for them at the moment. And they are being told to hold on a bit and come later. Of course, there are the general issues of amenities, social amenities. There are the issues about disadvantage when we go to some of these areas. For example, I work in Fidium in Ahafo. The roads to the region are bad. I'm having to change my shocks on a regular basis. Again, there are no good schools relatively here. And so my kids will have to go to Goso, which is the next town, on a daily basis to go to school, which is cost to me. And so that is why our president has mentioned that it's important to also fix the other side of the discussion, which is social amenities and other things. And then the incentive package that we have all discussed for several years, it's gone all the way to cabinet level. So that, for example, my colleague who is in Accra, who has access to locum opportunities on his downtime, against me, who is here where there's no private facility or any other locum opportunities, he gets better off. Again, he's in the teaching hospital where he can quickly further his postgraduate education. And next thing I know, I am still here as a medical officer. He is there as a consultant, getting paid way more than I get paid just because I decided to sacrifice.
Okay.
So I think the issue, we need to holistically look at the issue and then work towards attracting and retaining these medical officers, for which we as an association are very, very much committed to.
Right, Richard, and I understand your point, definitely, where you even give a preamble before you began, that these are medical officers who have been home and want to be posted. You've given instances of insecurity, instances of equipment at these facilities, but there are also instances where medical officers blatantly refuse to go for these postings. And for your association, what do you do about that?
Well, I'll be happy you cite some specifics, because you see, sometimes we generalize these comments. If you have any, kindly do share with us so that we can follow up on these medical officers who blatantly refuse postings. I am not aware of
you've never heard of that before?
But some will request that they want postings elsewhere.
Okay.
But not that. When you see, postings are what we call technically an offer of employment. And offers of employment, the person may request certain conditions, their discussions. I'm sure when you were joining Metro TV, you didn't just join. You had discussions about your contract, your pay, and other allowances.
Right.
I'm sure. Is that not so?
Right.
And so some discussions are normal in employment and recruitment. As an association, even before this, we took active interest in this about 4 years ago, and this was the theme of our annual general conference. And as a result, we attracted quite a lot of doctors, about 10 or 12, to the Upper East region. Then our Volta division piloted what we call One District, One Doctor initiative. What was the issue? We realized that it was not only about money for doctors. We realized that some doctors, the worry is that I accept postings to a district and I'm alone at posts. When I have challenges, there's no senior to help me. And so if I'm in Komfo, it's easy. I can call a resident, a consultant to assist me. And so we assigned a mentor. The districts were engaged and they helped with accommodation. And then the association worked with key stakeholders like MPs and others to raise some fundings and pay them some token allowance in addition. Some of the chiefs even offered land. Guess what? OT region, which used to have a serious problem of medical officers accepting posting, when 2 slots were advertised, we got 7 people wanting to go. We had to turn some people away. Then the second slot, 2 more slots were advertised. We had 22 people wanting to go. So it tells you that it is not people just refusing to go, but there are push and pull factors which we can work with government and other stakeholders to ensure these things are in place so that people can then accept. Right. Remember also that government itself has been talking about implementing rural incentive package. I know Minister is making some efforts on that and has even talked about engaging the districts to put some measures in place, including official vehicles to move certain doctors, etc. But we need to see this happen. This has been in the works for years now.
Okay.
So that there's that disadvantage between you working in the city and those working in the districts is taken care of so that people willingly accept to work there.
Richard, the final one, just in a minute before we wrap up. The minister has given a week for those who have not reported to their posts here to do so. Your reactions to that?
Well, in listening to the minister, I believe that maybe they will clarify that, but I don't think it was a hard and fast ultimatum per se. He mentioned in what he said that they were willing to use 1 week to appeal to the medical officers, which we find as a good thing. We are trying to engage the ministry to sit and quickly address this. I don't think it's a matter of 1 week or not 1 week. It's about encouraging more and more to accept the posting. This will not be the first posting. I'm sure there will be many more coming. And we want to address the systemic issues that have bedeviled the system and ensure that when medical officers go, they are released early to go and do their specialization to go back and help the people there.
Okay.
They can get some rural incentive package. They will be assured that they won't be kept there forever, telling them to bring somebody before they'll be released to go further their education or something. So we believe that the minister has shown some goodwill. He's engaging the districts to put some measures in place, and we are willing to work with him to ensure that Ghanaians everywhere get the healthcare they deserve as close as possible to their doorsteps. And that is one of the tenets of the Ghana Medical Association. That's what we live by.
Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Richard Salome, General Secretary for the Ghana Medical Association, speaking to us.
And just so you know, I am speaking to you from Fidium in Ahafo region.
Okay, speaking to us from Fidium in the Ahafo region.
Fidium in Ahafo region.
Thank you.
Where I work and I'm sitting in my office. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Richard Salome, General Secretary for the Ghana Medical Association. As you've seen on that is the Ghana Health Service socials, the status of placement of medical officers as at Friday, 28th November 2025. The total allocation, 463. Number of reported personnel, 158. That is just 34%. And yet to report, 305 personnel. I'll be keeping tabs on this to bring you more subsequently. But that's where I draw the curtains on today's edition of Good Afternoon Ghana. Many thanks for joining us and to all our guests for joining us on the show. My name is Desmond Okrekudan. So for more news, log on to our website, www.metrotvonline.com. And on the 20th of December is the Metro TV Jollof Festival. Keep your tabs for the updates. Come, let's enjoy some good jollof. I'll be cooking. Anyway, thank you for joining us. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
cultural explosion of the year is here. The Afro-Brazil-Ghana Festival 2025, December 12th and 13th at the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park and Mausoleum. It's coming alive with 2 unforgettable days of culture, food, fashion, and music. Enjoy electrifying performances from Vansi Gadam, Adam, Go Get 'Em episode, Wiyala, Amanziba, Big Twins African music, and Dance Ensemble, Simon from Burkina Faso, and representing Brazil, Aline Crew. This historic festival is organized by Big Twins African Music and Dance Ensemble in collaboration with the Embassy of the Federated Republic of Brazil in Accra, supported by Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Ghana Tourism Authority.
If God is for us, who can be against us? Come join us, count our blessings, for the Lord has been good. It's the Jospon Zoomlion Annual Thanksgiving Service 2025, brought to you in collaboration with PRWC Trasaco, E-Church of the Church of Pentecost, and the Central Mosque. It's a moment of reflection and gratitude to God, with our fathers of the faith, such as Apostle Dr. Dela Kwampa, Bishop Emeritus Jemsa, Reverend Eastwood Anaba, and the host, Elder Dr. Joseph Sianwe Japan. This is coming off on the 8th to 12th December 2025 across all designated centers nationwide, starting at 6 a.m. each morning. You can participate via our online platforms at Zoomlion Limited and Jospon Group on Facebook and YouTube. Media partners, Metro TV, Pence Media Center, Original TV and Original FM. Don't be left out.
Some loves are born in the blink of an eye.
I've been madly in love with her since the first time I saw her. Then let's get married today.
I'll be the happiest woman in the world by your side.
And they kill your soul in a flash. Televisa presents You Are the One. Angela dreams of keeping her promise to be a great doctor and help her people. To Alvaro, ambition is stronger than his dream, and this greed will lead him to commit the worst betrayal to the woman he loves.
I will have a husband no matter what.
Samantha, will you please marry me?
Turning all her dreams into painful disappointments and dangerous consequences.
I've been waiting for you to answer